Motor City Comic Con has been a part of Southeast Michigan for over 30 years, providing a celebration of pop culture, community, and years of fun for casual fans like me and enthusiasts alike. Today's guests work tirelessly year after year to make Motor City Comic Con the best, and they've got some amazing stories to share with us. From celebrity guests to exciting panels and events, this year's convention promises to be an unforgettable experience for fans of comics, movies, and pop culture. Welcome to Celebrate Michigan, the show produced by students on the campus of Madonna University. I'm Chris Benson, and I'm joined today by Sam Yankee and Beth Burland of Motor City Comic Con. Thank you both for being here today.
Yeah, thank you.
We're glad to be here.
We're glad to have you. So Sam, let's see. Tell us who you are, a bit about yourself, and how long you've worked with Motor City Comic Con.
I'm Sam Yankee, and I've worked with Motor City Comic Con for about a year now.
Okay.
I started out as a crafter, exhibitor for the show, and just asked if they needed some help one year, and it turned out they were hiring, so it just kind of worked out.
And it's been a dream since then, right?
Yeah, it's honestly the dream job.
Oh, I love this. Okay. And Beth, tell us a little bit about your connection to Motor City Comic Con.
I've been doing it for 34 years because it is a family business.
Wow.
So the promoter of the show is my brother. And we would always, my husband and myself and our 3 kids would go and work the weekends. And then I retired. I was a school teacher and retired and was recruited to work at the office. So now I'm doing all of the work.
Wow.
Yeah.
So for someone who's never been to Motor City Comic Con, they've never driven down, 96 there in May and seen that like the entire freeway is like clogged with people going to the Comic Con. How would you describe what the experience is like?
Just anything you can imagine pop culture. There's we have celebrity guests from TV shows, movies. I mean, honestly, TV is just all streaming services now. So anything you can imagine, superheroes, Star Wars, last show we had MASH guests, and we kind of hit every demographic. And if you're not really a celebrity person, we've got comic guests as well. There's vendors, local artists, vendors from all over the country. We have cosplay competition, really cool panels. It's just, there's so much to do.
So explain what cos. There might be people that they're watching, they're like, cosplay, what is that?
Oh, that's fair. So essentially it's Halloween whenever you want it to be. Cosplay is typically dressing up as a character from a TV show, movie, anime, comic book, basically anything that you've seen on TV or in a book you can dress up as. And some of them are very obscure and you really have to be a fan of that thing to recognize it. And other things, we'll have one of the most popular is Spider-Man, and there's always a group of like 20, 30 Spider-Men who did not know each other when they got there, but just all started walking around together taking pictures. My son actually joined their group of Spider-Men because he was dressed like them, and they all posed for a picture. He loved it.
Oh my gosh. And I have to ask this, what's one of the most interesting or unique cosplay costumes you've seen?
Actually, one of our winners, I believe it was second place last show, had a full-size Lego Flash and Batman, with the hands and everything, and his eyes were actually coming out of the mouth. So if you zoom in on the picture on our website, you can see it. Just little eyes going.
Oh my gosh. Beth, this is, as you mentioned, this is a family affair. So you've seen over 30 years of Comic-Cons. What does this mean for you and your family?
Really what it did was to help bring our family closer. It gave us something all to do. It started with my dad and brother. My father brought home a comic book collection that he bought. Somebody came into his store and he bought it and brought it home to my brother. And my brother got into comic books, and then when he got a little older, he just started going and setting up at shows with my dad, and then one day bought a show, and it just was a real nice connection for my mom, for them.
How have you seen the show change from the early years to now?
Right.
It sounds like there's a lot going on now, and we'll
Yes.
talk about that. But what are some of the big changes that you've
It's
seen?
definitely evolved.
Yes, a lot. Originally, it was just a comic book show. You would have vendors selling comic books and toys and stuff to other people.
And there's a lot of local shops too. So they would have a brick and mortar store and they'd come in and set up just a booth.
Right. There were no celebrities, no comic guests, just a very small show. And then as it evolved, they started adding comic book guests. And the interesting story, we used to do it at the Dearborn Civic Center. And at the end of the show, after we cleaned up on Sunday, it was an old roller rink. And we would get roller skates and roller skate around the rink at the end of the show.
Oh my gosh, so the behind the scenes, right?
Behind the scenes, yeah. And eventually when we started going to the suburban show places, when it really just expanded. You know, we started bringing in the celebrity guests, and it just became very, very popular.
How big is Comic-Con now?
In the sense of number of people?
Yeah, if you had to describe how big it is now.
Well, we do 2 shows a year now. Our May show is bigger than the fall show that's going to be in November this fall. We could probably bring in between 30 and 40,000 people.
Incredible. And over how many days?
3.
3 days.
3 days.
So what, you know, you've alluded to some of the things. I know there's so many things going on. Take me through a day in the life of Comic-Con. Like, I'm coming, I'm a casual fan. What would my experience be like?
Well, if you're just a casual fan, the first thing I would suggest is just walk around. There's so much just to see. If you're not coming in with a plan, which we provide a program guide, so if you want to make a plan, you're a planner, that's definitely possible.
Like an itinerary or an agenda? Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
so the program guide has a full schedule of all the days, all the panels you'll see, you know, when photo ops are going to be with the celebrities.
Right.
It has
Every
every actor and celebrity that we've got, it'll have like a little biography of them if you kind of recognize them but don't know where they're from. Same thing with our comic guests and all of our vendors. It'll list all of them in there. But I would definitely suggest just walking around first, just to take it all in. And so much of the joy of Comic-Con is stumbling across something that you didn't know you needed, and seeing all the cosplays. And all the people who dress up love taking pictures, so please ask them. Just be polite when you do it. But that's why they made it. A lot of them made them by hand, and they put a lot of work into it. So honestly, if you are just a little nervous about going to a Comic-Con, do it. It's just, the camaraderie of it is fantastic.
I love that you say that you see things that you didn't know you needed. I love that. I love that. Well, it is time for us to take a quick break. We'll be right back here with Sam Yankee and Beth Burland of Motor City Comic-Con, and we'll talk all about all the things that go into making this such an important event twice a year. Stay tuned.
Nice. No. Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Learning how to kickflip 6 stairs takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
I present to you Algebra 2, Foreign Languages, and finally, Biology. Who among you will step up to their challenge?
Me. Yeah, I'll do it. Me too.
Sign me up.
Take on the tough classes now. You need them to prepare for college.
I want to see the world.
When you pick up a book
I used to read every night to all the younger kids.
and let your imagination break free, you won't believe how much fun it can be.
Let down your help!
Experience a world of adventure, excitement, and endless possibilities. Get tangled up in a good book. Explore new worlds. Read. Visit read.gov today.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. I'm Chris Benson here with Sam Yankee and Beth Burland of Motor City Comic Con, which is a celebration of pop culture that has been a part of Metro Detroit for over 30 years. It's such an important part, and it keeps growing every year. Who knows where it's going to go? It feels like it just gets bigger and bigger. So we talked in the last segment about, a bit about what you can experience there. You mentioned there's a show in May and there's one in November this year. Are they different? Are they the same? What's the format of them, if you will?
So the format is pretty much the same.
Okay.
It is going to be a smaller show in fall, but honestly, just the demand from the fans and the attendees is there that we were able to expand to a second show. Right. It is going to be a little bit more Halloween horror geared, but it is going to be your classic Comic-Con.
Okay, I did notice the sweater you're wearing today. Speaking of horror themed, for those who may not know, tell me about this.
This is a Freddy Krueger sweater that I got from a Halloween store.
Love this, love this.
It's subtle,
Yeah, subtle, but I knew. I saw it. I said, she's definitely a true fan.
Yeah.
And as we talk about what goes into creating this, Beth, you mentioned that this has gotten a lot more elaborate over the years.
It definitely has.
So when you think about, we've got the show coming up in May, what goes into creating that experience for fans?
Right.
Are you starting the year before, the day after it's over the year before? What goes into it?
I don't really think people realize how much work it does take to put on a Comic-Con. So we usually start we take 2 days off after the show to just kind of recoup, and then we start right after that. So each show, at least 6 months.
Wow.
You start with having to contact agents and talk about what celebrities are available and go through that process, decide what comic book guests we want to have, put applications out for vendors who, want to set up and go through all of that process. It takes a lot of work.
And I know you mentioned that's some of what you've done in the past. So talk to us about what goes into making this as fun and exciting as it is.
Well, I mean, as she said, we have, we start after 2 days, but we actually start a little bit earlier than that. Like right now, we're already starting for November. And for our exhibitors that come in, the Artist Alley, the crafters, and the vendors, we are having it's exploded from years past. Just from last year, we now have 200-300 exhibitors who are on our wait list because of just the excitement and the demands that there is for vending at our show. So I mean, a lot of what goes into it is carefully going through each and every application and making sure that we do have a lot of return exhibitors, but we also want to make sure that we keep things fresh for our attendees.
Right. And you mentioned there's vendors, there's artists and crafters. What is the difference, and what might I see if I was walking through those areas that you mentioned at the show?
So most of our Artist Alley is going to be local artists. Your friends could be set up in Artist Alley.
Okay.
You could be set up in Artist Alley.
Sure.
They're amateur artists. They are 18 and up, but they sell stuff that they have made at home, and it's unpublished, undiscovered artists. The crafters are all people who have some sort of art that's a little bit more 3D. I used to set up as a crafter with wood burning, and so we do have some wood burning artists. We have people who sell custom license plates. We have one vendor who makes wands from antlers and wood from Michigan.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really exciting. And then the exhibitor or the vendors are people who have licensed products. The people who want the collectibles and the comic books and the backpacks and stuff like that. Funko Pops. Very popular now.
Yes.
Yep. T-shirts and
everything licensed by all of the big brands, Marvel, DC, all of those.
What experience do you want to create? I know this has been in your family, Beth, for years. What experience do you want to create for the fans and for the people that come to the Comic-Con?
Well, I think we want to have it be like a hometown feel, like a family oriented, that you would feel comfortable walking in and being able to share our love of the convention with them, and hope that they can have as much fun doing it as we do.
So what are some, now all the true fans are going to want to know, like, what are some of the things that happen behind the scenes? Like, have there ever been like near misses or like catastrophes that no one knew about because you guys jumped in and made it happen? When you think back all the years that you've been involved, I'm sure you make it look very smooth. Are there times though when it wasn't so smooth that you can think of?
Oh, there are things that have happened.
And not all of them that we can talk about.
Okay,
but,
that's okay.
One of the most dramatic things that I think a lot of people don't understand with celebrity guests is their schedules change all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, production schedules change, and the reason that they're at our convention is because they're popular and people want to see them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those popular actors are also getting offers for projects all the time.
Right.
You know, they're going to other conventions and they've got other stuff going on, and sometimes those change at the last minute. So that is always a threat, is people canceling, but it's always because they're just that popular. So that's a fun.
Right. I think that's a big change. When we first started having celebrities, there weren't as many avenues for actors to be able to actually be working. Yeah. So we didn't have as many actors that would have to cancel.
Right.
But with all the streaming that they can do and all the shows that they can be on, the majority of our actors are working. And they're coming in, you know, they finish filming on Friday and they fly out and they come out to you for the weekend. So their schedules are very busy. So we would like the attendees have to understand that when they cancel, it's not anybody's fault.
And we're upset too.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure.
And most of the guests are as well. You know, they
Yeah.
want to do both. They don't say yes because, you know, they're not interested in coming to meet everybody. So.
And I just think of all the things that go into it. I mean, it's the getting inside. You just talked about managing, like you're managing celebrities too. And I'm imagining that some of your school teaching background probably came into play with
organization.
That. Yeah, and having to just make all of that happen and make it look so effortless so that people can really enjoy it.
Right. We hope that's what it comes off as, is effortless.
Right. I have a feeling it does. Well, we have to take another quick break. And if this segment has gotten you excited about experiencing Comic-Con, stay tuned, hold tight, because after this break, we're going to be highlighting some of the great things that you're going to see at the Comic-Con soon. So stay tuned.
When life's this hard, it's no wonder 7,000 students drop out every school day. Visit boostup.org and help kids in your community stay in school.
My name's Reggie. Just recently, my wife and I took in her sister's children. And we already had 4, so I went from becoming a family man to a man with a bigger family. Now, you can't eat love, so I don't know how I'm gonna feed them tonight. How was that, Reg?
I think I look more like Denzel.
That's cold, man.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
So my uncle calls and he says he's dizzy and he's losing his balance. I'm like, Unc, you want me to take you to a doctor? He's like, no, I'm gonna look up the symptoms. I said, your symptoms are you're dizzy and you're losing your balance. So he said, I can't get on the internet because my arm is numb. I said, well, use your good arm and dial 911. Stroke's no joke. If you or someone you love is showing symptoms of stroke, don't wait because it might be too late. Dial 911. Time lost is brain lost.
Yo, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those hands.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, and this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
Welcome back to Celebrate Michigan. We're here with Sam Yankee and Beth Burland of Motor City Comic Con, highlighting this year's upcoming editions, and all the things we're excited about. So, May, it's coming soon. I know there's probably some guests that you're still in the works on, you can't tell us about, but who do you have coming to the event that we can talk about at this point?
Well, we've had a lot of buzz about Christopher Lloyd.
I heard about that.
I'll let you know that we are bringing in a DeLorean car.
Oh my gosh.
So that you can take pictures with Christopher Lloyd and yourself in the car.
The Back to the Future fans are just like,
right.
Yeah, they're going to lose it.
And the car looks like it because it's got the flux capacitor and the wheels pop up. So
oh my gosh.
It'll be real exciting.
Yeah, and they've got some props too with it that you can take pictures. So
very cool. That's definitely going to be a favorite.
So get your Back to the Future cosplays ready.
Okay, I've got to get my jacket, and everything. Oh, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, we have Carl Weathers.
Oh, nice.
From Rocky and then Mandalorian.
Yes. Everyone's loving Mandalorian, so that's going to be very popular.
And he's pretty big in the season coming up, so.
Right. Mark Shepard.
Oh, wow.
He's a big one.
We've got Jonathan Frakes and Brent Spiner from Star Trek.
How awesome.
Right. We have local Richard Karn from Home Improvement.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and he'll be joined by Deb Dunning as well, who was Heidi, the
two-time
girl. Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Wow.
We have the three big names from the Arrow, Stephen Amell, Emily Brett Rickards, and David Ramsey.
Oh, wow.
And they'll do a panel. You can, go and get signatures from them, photographs, and they'll be doing a panel, the three of them together, talking about the show.
And that's what for people who've never been to a Comic-Con, they may not understand that, there's not only do you see the celebrities there, but you can actually interact with them. And talk about what that's like. Are they, in a room, in a theater-style room, and how close do people get to the celebrities? What does that look like?
So we actually have them on the same floor as the vendors and exhibitors and artists and stuff. So they are in their own section, and you do have to, for most of them, stand in line and it is first come, first serve for most of them. Photo ops you can buy ahead of time, and you'll be given a time slot, and you get to get a professional picture with them.
Wow.
And we've got a great photo team. And then we've got, they are set up at tables for autographs, selfies, and just to talk, ask your questions.
Wow. So you're right across the table from them.
Yeah, it's no farther than this.
Right.
And I saw on your website that you can arrange some of that ahead of time. So for people who might not have been, you don't want them to be disappointed, they can actually understand that they can sign up for some of that stuff ahead of time to secure a spot. Because I imagine the spots sell out.
Yeah,
some of them do. So all the professional photo ops you have to do online.
Okay. Okay.
For some of the celebrities, we will have autographs available, but it'll be really limited. Doesn't mean that you can't get them the day of. We just want to have some of them where you can guarantee that you will get an autograph.
Right. Oh my gosh. So as you think about, I can't imagine that I keep going back to the planning of this. I cannot imagine how much planning goes into these events and how many people you need to make these events happen. And I saw on your website that you're actually looking for people to help you. So talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so we actually just made our applications for our squad live. So if you want to work at Comic-Con, you can be part of a really fun group of people who just love Comic-Cons. You do have to work at least one full day, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday is a day that nobody really wants to work because that's when all the big names are going to definitely be there and have their panels. So we definitely need people on Saturday. But you just have to be 18 and up and love Comic-Con.
Right. Just go to the website and go to where Squad is what it's called and fill out the application.
And what is your website? Where can we find you if we want to find Motor City Comic Con?
That's pretty much it, motorcitycomiccon.com.
Okay, excellent. And they can just look under Squad there. And what do they, in addition to getting the experience, what would a day be like for someone who's working at Comic-Con? I know it depends where they are, but what are some of the things they might do if they were working at Comic-Con?
So when you first join, everybody, even returning people, are going to have an orientation, and we have a wonderful squad director, and she's going to just basically take a tour of the whole facility. Most of them will get an assignment for the weekend, so they get very familiar with the people around them, the people they're working with. A lot of our squad members that have been returning for a couple of years will actually get to work with the celebrities.
Wow.
Yeah, so they get to be like the cashiers for them, taking taking the cash for the attendees and helping them out if they need anything.
Right.
And then we've got the exhibitors and the vendors who need help, and then line control, stuff like that. But the longer you've been there, the cooler jobs you get to have.
Right.
This sounds like a very fun summer job, I have to admit.
Yeah.
I may have to look into this for sure.
We'll
and
have
you
a
get a
spot for
t-shirt
you.
too.
And you get a t-shirt too. Well, and I think you get to meet people who love the things you love. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I think is probably the best part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I know augmented reality, I heard that this is going to be part of it. So
That is our new feature event
coming
for this May.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
we-
excited about it? You think people are going to really be excited about it?
I'm excited
It looks
to try
really
it.
cool. I can't wait to try it.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And I understand there's a Michigan connection with it too.
Yeah, so the owner of it, he is local to Michigan, and since he's kind of just starting to bring this to Comic-Cons, we are going to be one of the first ones to have it. And it's just essentially virtual dodgeball. But the coolest part about it is because it's augmented reality, not virtual reality, you actually get to see the people that you're playing. And because it's Comic-Con, a lot of people are in cosplay. So, you might be playing against Darth Vader.
And wouldn't that be something?
Yeah,
Awesome.
especially if you win.
I love it. Amazing, amazing. Well, I am just so delighted that you came to join us today. In just the little bit of time we have left, what do you think the future of Comic-Con looks like?
I see it getting even bigger.
Awesome.
We have a really good team that's working now. We get
Pretty
along
great.
real well. Yep. And we're really working to be able to bring new things that have never been there before. Different
Awesome.
guests that have never been there, different experiences that they can enjoy.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Beth and Sam. And if you've never been there before, it sounds like you definitely need to check it out. We're so excited that we had Sam Yankee and Beth Burland here sharing all the exciting things that you can experience at Comic-Con. And we also are very grateful to you, our viewers, for watching Celebrate Michigan, where we celebrate all the awesome people like these two in our state. See you next time.